And so, I can see your face right now, and it's making me laugh.
Trust me, I'm a YouTuber, so the expressions are for a reason. It all comes together, baby. It works together.
No, it's great. It's great. I wish that our listeners could see it. That's why I mentioned it. And then second of all, like I didn't hear that. That's alarming, right? Um, because we are barely beating teams, and he's thinking like, hey, I need that extra, I need that kickback from ESPN. It's like, dude, we should be blowing these teams out. And like we can complain all we want about the playoff rankings and stuff, but at the end of the day, we are not. I mean, would you feel confident rolling up to Iowa State and playing them head to head right now?
Nope.
I,
I mean, we
I'm
can
not
go
saying,
down the list. I've always said
yeah,
we're maybe at our best. I'm talking about Tallahassee, Louisville, NC State offensive performance. We're 8 or 9 if we
yeah,
play our best game.
yeah,
But even then, that's New Year's Six bowl, which is where we'll probably end up going. That's pretty
yeah,
solid, or right outside of it.
yeah,
I understand we're not there. I'm not one of those people. Yes, I played. Yes, I currently coach. But I'm not one of those people that think, oh, it's the Canes. They're supposed to win by 60 and run it up. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that that's how it's supposed to be. But don't tell me that this is the best that we can do and I'm just supposed to take it.
yeah.
When
I'm
I
with you,
know
man.
when I watch this film, when I know and I communicate with our players, or just from what, even if you do it at a fan's view, like the brand of football we're putting out there, you better be happy they're giving us 10. Happy they're giving us 11.
I agree, man.
Anybody in the top 10 went to Tech right now, they wouldn't win by 1.
Yeah,
That's a very good point. Well, and I think and I was listening in on the press conference with Blake Baker when he said that. When he said that, I was like, the hell? I was just so taken aback by it, because then a few days later, Rhett Lashley spoke to the media, and he was like, yeah, we're nowhere close where we need to be. And it's just the difference in being content with average and wanting, and the difference between wanting more and understanding that, yeah, this is not we're better than this. Like, we should be expecting more, and we can deliver more, but it's just that mindset that has overruled the program that, oh, okay, we can beat these teams by 1, but at least we win.
And in a year, I'm going to take you back to one of the first times that it created a divide. Because, I mean, Marsh, you're a part of it. You've seen me get attacked, and you also see me be praised on Twitter. Okay, I'm one of those people that will say it how I see it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Come at me, my name, my number, where I work, where I went to school, all of that is public. So if it really is a problem, you know where to find me, okay? But I'm nobody's registered badass. I'm not here for any of that. But what I am saying is, when you speak the truth, there usually creates a divide.
yep.
There was a picture of Coach Diaz after a 19-14 win over Virginia, where we looked like we were supposed to run out of there by 40 points. And this man is slipping and sliding on the sideline. And I got on live and I went ballistic. And
Yeah,
people did not see why I was so angry. Oh, these players love it. You should just accept it, Holsum. No, there's certain things you don't do, because that leaves in the mind of these players, we're at a party, we're just having fun, and before you know it, you're at the University of Miami graduation 4 or 5 years later, and you didn't achieve what you thought you were coming here to achieve. It goes like that. Every second, you got to be striving for something. It's a moving object. Every second, you got to be striding to that championship, because there's so many other people in front of you that all have the same goals as you, that work just as hard as you, that have better coaches. And you got to do more if you want to get there before they do. And we're not doing it in Coral Gables. We're not.
And I said something about that picture after the UVA game as well, and people are like, "Oh, what? Yeah, what's so bad about a coach showing enthusiasm?" And I'm like, "It's you don't get it. You don't understand. Why are you like slipping and sliding after a 5-point win over a previously 1-3 team with a backup quarterback in, when we should have easily scored 35 points. Easily. I want to switch now to maybe a little controversial topic with with coaches. I want to ask you first about and if
I think I know what this is.
Have their opinions, and it's going around, and I've been asked about it. I'm sure you've been asked about it. Coach Rumpf, what are your thoughts on him moving forward with the University of Miami? Just do you think it's time to possibly find a new cornerbacks coach? Because I love Mike Rumpf. I love what he did and has done for the University of Miami. He's a national champion. He's an outstanding guy. But there comes a point where if you are trying to transform this program and bring it back to an elite level, these recruits, they're going to want – it's not even his lack of recruiting, but it's almost a lack of development. I mean, Al Blades Jr., DJ Ivey, they're solid, but I would say that they are underperforming for what they potentially could be as players. I don't know. What are your thoughts on him and that whole situation?
Oh, man, Marsh put me on the spot, man. You never know who's listening. All right. Well, my professional answer and my personal answer are kind of the same, okay? I don't ever think it's my job, as someone who's working as hard as he is, to go into the coaching fraternity full time once I'm done with grad school. I don't know if it's my job to call for someone's job. But what I will say is I think every single head coach should and does sit down and evaluate their staff, not only their players, not only their assistant coaches, their coordinators, but themselves. There needs to be an evaluation. And if we have the means, and what I mean by the means is not always the funds, because there's money at the University of Miami. There's money there. There's no question about it. If we wanted to go make some of those big-time hires, we could. It's just they don't want to. That's the conversation no one wants to have, okay? That's not the realization they want to really come to. It's because this logo that sits behind me and that's over my heart, they don't care about being the greatest at football. That's not what the institution is worried about. They never were. That's the thing. It was always the team versus the University of Miami. That's why we're the U. That's the football program. Mm-hmm. What we built was on us. They could care less how we did it. But to answer your question, I think that if we were to evaluate and if we had a good replacement and the means to go find one, I think it would be in our best interest to evaluate to the point where if that was a chance, then do it. But if you can't go get anyone better, if you can't go get anyone that's willing to deal with what Coach Banda and Coach Manny Diaz like to do to their cornerbacks coaches, then maybe everybody isn't on board for doing that. So
that was a very professional but accurate answer, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I no, you said it perfectly. And I've spoken my mind about this. I've kind of, I was pro Rumpf and I was, against the guys that called for his job, but there just comes a point where, maybe it's time for just a change. And if there is someone out there who you think can be a better, better coach and better at developing these players, then by all means go. I mean, we do have the money. You don't have the money, but we're paying Blake Baker $1 million to be a defensive coordinator.
That's shocking to me, man. Like, that's
depressingly shocking.
How? That's my first question is how? Like, what did he do to earn $1 million a year?
I mean, it's sad, man. I can't go in as hard as I would want to, because if someone said, Holsum, you're the defensive coordinator at the University of Miami, I could care less about what some guy is talking about me.
Yeah.
Right.
But I bet you this much, my young men, every scholarship defensive player, any person I came in contact with would never think that doing enough to win would be okay. That's just how it is.
Well, and that's not a winning mentality. Like, that's not what I don't get that. I don't get it.
Me either, because I think, like when I tweeted that out, And Brad, you seen it, and also Marsh, you saw it too. Marsh, I think you may even quote tweeted or something. But I was getting it
We're
from every
usually
angle.
in agreement on Twitter, so I probably did.
I was getting it from all angles, and all I kept telling them was, take some time, listen, read that out loud. What I just said, okay? That is a mediocre mindset.
Yeah.
Not did I call the coaches mediocre? Did I call players mediocre? I said that mindset is mediocre. Okay? And at the end of the day, fans, which is what I am to the University of Miami right now, we can have our own opinions. If the fan base was the one saying it, I would have a problem because we don't technically have a direct correlation as to what happens with the program. So we should just be happy that we win games. Okay. But then there's a different level of fans who either played it or coached it and understand it when they're watching it. They know there's a difference. And this is the conversation I had on my channel for well over a month now. There's two terms, and they sound very similar. Okay? It's playing, winning football, or winning football games. Now, if I talk really fast, they sound very similar, but they're two different things.
Yep.
Are you winning football or are you winning football games? Because one side, there's a foundation. And people hate this term, there's a process, there's a culture, there's coaching, there's development. And on the other side, hey, we're recruiting our butt off, and you just go out there and play kill the man with the ball and throw bombs, and let's figure it out however we do.
No, I love that you say that because I think the difference, to use a real world analogy, take a team like Clemson, right? They drop a game to Notre Dame. Teams like Clemson and Alabama, they play winning football, right? They have an incredible infrastructure. They have like, I don't know if moral code is the right word, but they have like a football code, right? Mm-hmm. And when they drop a game, it's not a big deal, right? Like everyone can look around, even if they get disqualified from a title that year, you can all look around and say, like, next year we have a chance again. Mm-hmm. But here at the University of Miami, we are clamoring for seasons like 2017, and we are clamoring for seasons like this year, where we are squeaking past really bad teams. Mm-hmm. We're squeaking past backup quarterbacks. And then we're doing a victory lap over double-digit wins because that is a massive improvement from last year because we weren't winning games, right? Like you said, using that phrase, we're not playing winning football, but we're winning games, right? But usually what we do is win half our games and not play winning football. So now we're winning most of our games, but we're still not playing winning football. So I think you hit the nail on the head, my friend. I love it.
Well, and I am a huge believer in, terms like the process and culture. And following last year, it was obvious that the culture at the University of Miami was almost the biggest problem. Because that is what has been lacking the last 15 years. It's not the lack of talent. Lord knows we always have the talent to win 10, 11 games every year, but that's what a lot of fans don't understand, and that's why I started, everyone on Twitter probably knows by now I'm a huge, Nick Saban fan. I've been reading books about him, and it's staggering to read what he says and then see the difference in the lack of culture at a University of Miami program. But yeah, you preach on, brother.
It's funny you say that because no matter what, and I don't like to get into religion. I don't get into stuff like that, but we are what we put into our bodies. That's just science. Yeah. That's just the truth. No matter what you do, whatever you put in and, whatever book you want to crack or faith you have, there's a sense of that same sentence in some shape, form, or fashion. We are what we eat. We are what we put inside of our body. We are what we continuously do, yada, yada, yada. Same thing. Okay, I sit here and read and study. Coaches like Coach Saban, Coach Obermeyer, I even started to get a little dabble in some Lane Kiffin